let's see here. I lost my... oh, come on. Okay, I apologize for that. Lost my mouse. Okay, economic growth. We talked about the economic growth. Capital markets. We look at poor global flow of goods and people and capital, not putting them where they're needed. Formulations of very regional trade blocks. Companies or countries only doing business with specific other countries. Very protectionist. Best case scenario in the capital markets. Liberalized movement of labor markets and products globally, where they're needed. The transparent capital markets. It doesn't matter. It's not a marketplace in Beijing or Hong Kong or the United States or Europe. It's very transparent. And there's worldwide investments, and the investments are to the benefit of a global perspective, not just an individual or regional or country perspective. And the emphasis is on global efficiency and productivity. Global regulatory schemes, worst case, just an uncoordinated regulatory scheme. There is no global regulatory scheme, and the constraints on global cooperation to support these global market accesses are there too. Roadblocks in the way. On the best case scenario, your protectionism decreases, and we have global institutions to address global issues, and we're doing it from a standpoint of fair and equitable to all. From a climate change policy, worst cases, failure to address these climate changes and the issues that they present, lack of transfer between countries. Climate change is occurring faster than what's expected, and it just remains unchecked. From a best case scenario, there is a global climate agreement, and it's something that is, again, fair and equitable to all. Global sharing of energy efficient technology, and carbon emissions have peaked, and actually your carbon footprints are on the downslide, which means we're addressing the issue. Just a picture here of the democracy around the world. The green indicates what democratic countries are today. We don't see that landscape to change a whole lot, but nor do we really see that to be, in the best case scenario, it making a difference. But it's something for you to note, and it may be something that you might want to take into your risk assessment. So when we take a look at it from the political and economic summary, we look at it worst case scenario, you win the game but you lose the match. You win the battle but you lose the war. The world is facing questions that it's just consistently refusing to address. You've got again, lack of global leadership is what we talked about earlier. Suspicions between powerful nations. There isn't a sense of trust between them. You've got these new problems arising, and you try to apply the same old solutions to it, and they're not working. And we just basically have our head in the sand. We think that technology is something that's going to solve the problem. In the best case scenario, it's a time to turn with some guided transition, that we realize that this isn't just the United States of America. It's a globe that we live on, and it's a community from that perspective. So coming together with that common cause, putting perspectives into place that are fair and equitable to all. Shared global problems, and we share the responsibilities that go with it. And yes, we're going to have, even in the best case scenario, lingering problems, but we're addressing them from a global perspective with a global look and a governance that goes with it. And there will be continual adjustments from that perspective. So what does this mean to the leisure, travel, and RV industry? You have to take a look at those possible outcomes yourself. You have to keep your finger on the pulse. You have to be watching that continuously. And if it's not going in the desired direction, do something about it. The technology is here today for you to make a change. if a Nobel Peace Prize winner can almost single-handedly remove all of the landmines and have a global restriction on that, it can be done. You have to do it. If it's not being done and it's not going in your directions because you're not doing something about it. Invest in emerging markets because they're going to be your potential customers of the future. Think green. That's not going to go away, and all of the regulations and so forth are going to be in your favor. And do a dynamic risk assessment, something that has to be done on a continual basis, and see where are things going. Are they going in the direction that that you anticipated to go into? So I thank you for your time, and with that I'm going to hand it over to Virginia B. Ware, and she's going to go over some more technology information regarding the RV industry. Jenny?